to a distinguished crowd. Our theme for today is bridging the divide between the new teachers and the classroom effectiveness. Now, I'm not going to speak out of an academic point of view at all, because I only started at the University of Johannesburg in April. Before that, I was a teacher for 7 years in the FET phase, teaching life sciences, as well as in the senior phase, teaching natural sciences. So the theme I would like to speak about today is standing in the shoes of the new teacher. Now, I've got a big size 12 shoe, which I try and fill every single day when I stand in front of the class. But there are a few challenges that new teachers face. And I don't think we prepare them adequately enough for these challenges. Today I'm just bringing you a case study. I can't talk about other teachers, I can't talk about other people, I can only talk about myself because I know myself. So what I'm going to share with you today is my first 3-4 years of teaching. So how did I become a teacher? I hated this question. People asking me, so what are you going to do after you graduated? Now let me rewind a bit. Let's go back to grade 12. Maybe you remember the time you were in grade 12 or maybe standard 10. Where people always ask you at the end or close towards the end of your schooling, what are you going to do next year? And we still do it. Whenever you see a teenager, and you ask them, oh, how old are you? No, I'm 18. Oh, are you in grade 12? Yes, I'm in grade 12. Okay, what are you doing next year? And that's a scary question. Especially for somebody like me who didn't know. Or wanted to do something, but then my parents said, maybe that's not a good idea. I wanted to go into drama and acting. And then my parents said, maybe do something where you can earn some money. And now I'm a teacher. Okay, thanks Mom, thanks Dad, well done. I started studying, I did a BSc in biochemistry and zoology, and I did my honors in zoology. And in my honors year, I got this same question. What are you doing next year? And truthfully, I didn't know. I had a few options. I could do my master's in zoology. Wasn't for me. I couldn't be locked up in a little lab and being out in the field for 6-7 weeks on end. It's just didn't fit my personality. So then I went through a few options, and then one of my mentors when I was at university said, well, while you're trying to figure out what you're doing, why not teach? I thought it's like a light bulb. It's like, bing! Yes. That's excellent, because it's a half-day job. You only work till 2 o'clock. You get 4 holidays a year. So, wow, I mean, I've got so much time then to do what I want to do. And I'm so thankful that this happened, because the first moment I set my foot in a class, I absolutely fell in love with this profession. So, just a little bit of background. I studied my BSc, and everything I just said happened. I was truly indecisive. But then I came into the class with a lot of passion. That first day, wow, I couldn't wait to start teaching. And I believe that's the case with many young teachers that just walk into the profession. We are so ambitious, we are so enthusiastic, and we want to go make a difference in the class, but there are a few factors that are just putting us in a bucket, putting you in a little cage. So the 3 things I want to talk about, the first thing that irritated me and probably still does, is the tedious amounts of administration. And I'll get into a little bit of what happened to me in the first few years that I taught. And then the social war zone that is the staff room. Wow! The politics that happens is scary and it's daunting. If you're a new teacher and you were not taught about this, and you don't have any skills in mastering this, it's quite scary. And then excessive extramural responsibilities, because teachers are supposed to teach. And in my little head, I thought that only happens in the classroom. But I'll get into that a little bit more. Okay, the excessive amounts of administration. People told go become a teacher because it's a half-day job. It's 4 holidays a year. They lie. It's an act. People shouldn't do that. We should not paint this picture that teaching is an easy job. Just for a little bit of background, when I started teaching, in the natural sciences phase, or the senior phase natural sciences, I was given 13 classes to teach, which ranged from about 30 kids to 40 kids in a class. So that is about, I'm going to overestimate and make it sound very, very bad, to about 400 kids a year that I had to teach in my first 3 years. When I got senior to the FET phase, then it got a little bit less, but that's what I was, boom, into the deep end. There you go, sink or swim. But I don't think people really, if you tell people I teach 400 kids, they go, oh, okay, well, I attend 400 meetings a year, whatever. Maybe that's how they, but let's put it into perspective. If you teach 400 kids, they do 3 assessment tasks each term. It amounts to about 5,000 assessment tasks in a year. And that's just assessment. That's not preparation. That's not all the other tedious things like having a register class and doing register every single day. And then you are supposed to keep record of all 400 of them continuously, having communication with parents. I don't know if you've ever tried phoning a parent to tell them your kid did something wrong. That's daunting, that's challenging. Do we train teachers in how to do that, and how to talk to parents? I don't think we do that. We teach them, listen, you're going to teach in a class, but why are we teaching them about what's happening outside of the classroom? And that didn't happen to me. I just had to swim. Luckily I did, but a lot of my colleagues didn't. The social war zone that is the staff room. The one thing, that one gap that I saw coming into a school as a new teacher is this reluctance to change. Where your more senior, experienced teachers had this to say, no, we can't do it that way, because we've always been doing it in this way. Now, you don't tell a vibrant new teacher with a lot of ambition that you can't bring change. You are young, we are so much closer to the generation we are teaching that we know what they're going through. We can't really say no, but we've got more of a feeling towards what they are going through. Because 4 years ago, I went through the same, or 5 or 6 years ago. So we're relating a little bit more to the kids. Now try raising your voice in a staff room as a new teacher. That's intimidating. Trying to stand up in a staff room and say, you know what, I don't think it should be done this way. Can't we try it that way? And in my case, the answer was no. No. Repetitively, no. We've been doing this the same way for the last 10 years. From the principal started here till now, this is the way we're doing it. Well, I say get a new principal. Or get new principals. Why is there this reluctance to change? Why don't you want to listen to the new teachers? Yes, we don't have the experience. Not at all. But please allow us to make our own mistakes. Because that's how we learn. And maybe we get something right that you didn't, because you didn't venture into that waters. Maybe we just get a little something right, and then it becomes the norm, which somebody else would try and break. But that's a good way. That's just propelling the society forward. And then the third thing, the other gap that I saw, is this weird distribution of extramural activities. If you're a new teacher, you do everything. But if you're a more senior, advanced teacher, when it comes to extramurals, no, you get a lighter load. When I started, I did the grade 8 concert. I did the musical production. I did the RCL elections. I was the RCL coordinator. I coached rugby. I coached squash. And then I had 400 kids that I had to teach. And for some reason, in the schools that I taught, the sport had a bigger focus than the academics. How does that work? I do not understand this concept. Because if the first rugby team, first soccer team, first cricket team did not perform, then it was a bad school. It doesn't make sense. So now, your focus is on, or you are pressurized in doing all these extramural activities because you need to build the perception of the school. You need to do all of these things to get the school a great name because it's used in marketing. Schools are being run more and more and more like businesses instead of educational institutions because of the pressures from the outside world. But for a new teacher, we don't really care about this. We care about the kids. We care about the actual profession of teaching. And all of these things outside of the classroom are inhibiting us from being teachers, from doing what we really want to do. So can we really blame the new teacher for being stressed? Can we really blame them for being demotivated? It is so scary to see that the latest research says that majority of the new teachers leave the profession of teaching after 5 to 7 years. They just leave teaching. Why? Is it because they get offered better opportunities outside of teaching? Probably yes. Because businesses from outside see passion, they see enthusiasm, and they want that in their businesses. But somehow we are not recognizing that in our schools. Why do I have to sit and go through all of these motivational, demotivational issues when I can actually go and work for more money? Where I could probably enjoy more what I do. I like this quote. Teaching is like trying to hold 35 corks underwater at once. Now span that over 8 hours and you've got 400 kids. And you've got 400 different little corks that you're trying to keep under the water. It's actually such a negative way of thinking about it. I would much rather try and lift these corks out of the water. But you can't. Because society tells you the rest of your schooling environment does not allow you to do this. So we've got these young teachers with these great expectations, but the veterans in the system not giving us our space to do this. So what I think the problem is, when you're at university, you get taught or told, you know what, when you get into the school environment, people will teach you about this, and that. They will teach you how to speak to parents. And they will teach you how to cope with all the admin and how to do the extramurals. People will teach you that. And when you actually get there, the schooling environment tells you, no, but you should have learned this at university. So somewhere we are dropping the ball. There's a gap that needs to be bridged. And how are we going to do this? And I believe this is a big issue that we are not giving enough attention to. We've spoken about it already today. Is mentorship. But not, I don't want to talk about pseudo communities of practice. We need real mentors. We need people that really care for new teachers. People that can take them by the hand and tell them, I remember when I was a new teacher. Come, walk with me. I will help you through this initial stages. We need more formal structures in schools to allow for true mentoring. And not just mentoring you can put on your IQMS form. So thank you very much for the opportunity. This is my humble opinion, and I can't wait to hear more from you after the session. Thank you.